I first became a witch, I thought every spell needed dozens of herbs, coloured candles, moon water and perfect timing. These days though, my practice looks almost nothing like in the books I started with, and strangely I think it's become more magical. This isn't about saying that books are wrong or that I'm not practicing witchcraft or that you're practicing witchcraft wrong. It's more a discussion about what I've realised over the last few weeks that I haven't been able to get into my witchcraft room. So let's get into it. But before we begin, don't forget, if you are new here, welcome. You can click the subscribe button to become part of the butterfly family. We would love to have you, and don't forget to ring that little bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. So let's talk about the excitement, the thrill of the chase, the starting off point. I think in my early years of witchcraft, I was collecting everything. I was a bit like Pokemon, you know, got to have it all. I was buying candles and crystals and trying every spell that I came across. I wanted to do everything absolutely perfectly. It was really exciting. It was like the books gave me confidence to practice. They gave me a starting off point. They gave me structure and helped me discover like what was possible within myself. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that stage. If that's where you are, there's nothing wrong with it. We were all beginners at some point, and I think it's a really lovely place to begin and really fun. But then a shift starts to happen, and slowly, instead of asking what spell should I cast, I started to think about how I could bring my magic into my day and just kind of flow with the seasons, follow the year, follow my intuition more than what is written down. Magic became something that I noticed or I gathered and found like treasures rather than scheduled in. Opening curtains with intention, or stirring tea with a blessing, or cleansing by listening to Britney Spears and dancing around. It's collecting feathers and noticing birds and thanking the garden and my home. It's lighting a candle just because it feels right rather than the timing's right. And it isn't that one is right and one is wrong. I think it's more that as you move out of that kind of beginning stage, or for me, as I move out that beginning stage and more my magic starts to settle into my life more, it becomes the spell isn't the magic, but the way I live my life is the magic, if that makes sense. There's a lot that goes into becoming a witch and being a witch. I love my altar room. My altar room is not decorated in a random way. I'm just throwing things about. It's very curated, it's loved, it's lived in. Everything is more or less thrifted that's in there, and it changes as the wheel of the year changes, as my life changes, as my intuition, my family, my ancestors, my gods and goddesses change or call on me for different things. It changes. I follow different Greek festivals now, the Celtic Sabbats, seasonal colours, decorating with nature that I find when I'm out and about, or when friends and family find when they're out and about, because I can rarely leave the house, so quite often people will forage things for me. And it's all about changing decorations and changing who I am as the year passes by. The room reminds me where I am in the year, where I am in my practice. It gives me an anchor point for crafts and crafting and spells and things that really feel needed in my life, rather than being something that I check off in a calendar. And living through the seasons and flowing with the seasons has really been something beautiful that's come into my life and really changed so much about my practice. I think another big thing is that I've started walking beside my ancestors rather than just having them at an altar. Yes, I have an altar for them. Yes, I leave them offerings there. Yes, I come and talk to them there and pray there. But I also will connect with them through the day, every day. I'll check in with my grandparents, or I'll ask a question, for my intuition to let me know what they think. Trying to psychically reach out. And if you've been following my videos for a long time, you will know that using my psychic gifts have been very scary for me. And so this has been a beautiful step forward in my practice, and something that has really lifted me up, to invite them into my everyday life instead of having them just in one place, in one time or one session at a time. I speak to them while I'm crafting or when I'm thinking about crafting. I remember family traditions or things that happened in the past. I feel guided by them, and leaving offerings naturally, and when I find things, when I come across things, when I think about them, that feels so much better than just going to my altar on a Monday, which is what I used to be. It used to be Monday's ancestor day. I think it's carrying that wisdom with me rather than just waiting for a particular day for a particular ritual. And rituals, yes, we do them on particular days and things. I'm not saying that that doesn't still hold. What I'm saying is that inviting my ancestors to walk beside me every day makes them part of my life instead of them feeling like an occasional check-in. My practice isn't just spells, and I think a lot of you who've been here for a while will know that I do a lot of painting, journaling, thrift flips. Try saying that 3 times fast. Making oils is something that I want to get into as well. Crafting and curating our home to be a beautiful, magical place all the way through it, not just in my altar room. Creating beauty as part of my devotion to my family and to our house spirit. And making sure that every brush stroke is a blessing, every handmade object becomes intention, and my art isn't separate to my witchcraft. It's melted into one. It is my witchcraft. I think quite often we can feel held back by the right moon phase or the right time of year or the right this, that and the other, instead of just being guided by where we are now. And I think mindfulness, I mean, that's the name of my blog, right? Blooming Mindfulness. Mindfulness really helps me to just live in the now, and to follow my intuition now has been a really magical, beautiful thing that I just absolutely love. And I've realised that I love to create, and I really want to make a dedicated crafting space. My mum has recently been sick, and we've moved her bed from upstairs in my old childhood bedroom downstairs into what used to be our dining room. And that room is now going to become a dedicated space for me. Not because I want to buy more things, not because I want to, you know, have a viral whimsified decorating video, but because I want somewhere that feels me, that art is just for me, somewhere I can do jigsaws and art and crafts and sewing. I was really enjoying sewing, and then I didn't have anywhere to do it. And so in the future, I am going to have somewhere that I can journal and paint and record my videos, and where inspiration is going to naturally happen, and art and whimsy and all that beautiful things are going to happen in that space. And it feels like the perfect next chapter for me. I really, really hope that you're excited about this idea as well. This is going to be happening early next year, but I'm also next month going to be creating more whimsy, more magic in our garden, really inspired by Alwyn Oak's recent videos, and I'll leave a link to Alwyn Oak down below. Not that any of you have probably not heard of her, but just because, you know, we should always give credit where credit is due. And I hope that you are enjoying my videos. Let me know in the comments. I don't think, to be honest with you, that my witchcraft became smaller when I stopped trying to do spells all the time. I don't think I'm no longer a witch because I'm not making potions and things every single day. I think my witchcraft actually became a bigger part of my life in the last year or so, and I think that's when you know that you're moving out of that beginner space into a more settled space in your witchcraft practice, because you're living your craft. It's not just when you're at your altar. Your altar is an addition, an extra. And it started living in my artwork, in my home, in my garden, and I really want to ripple it out into every area of my life. I think it's going to be amazing to really hunker down into working with the Wheel of the Year much more than I even have been till now, especially the Celtic Wheel of the Year, but also weaving in the Greek Wheel of the Year. So if you are interested in how I'm going to do that, make sure you check out my Monday vlogs, because there'll be more in there. What I'm trying to do is create a life that's full of magic and whimsy and joy, you know, and finding those quiet moments in between as anchor points for rest and recovery, because now that's where I find the deepest magic, in the everyday. Let me know, has your magic changed over the years? Does it still look like it did when you started out? Or do you find yourself weaving it more into your daily life and rippling it out into more areas of your home? I would love to know, so leave me a comment down below. I would love to hear all about it. I always do. Don't forget, if you do enjoy this video, let me know by leaving it a cheeky like, comment, subscribe, ring that little bell. All these things are free and they let me know and the YouTubiverse know that you enjoyed the video, and it'll show it out just that little bit more. Take care everyone, have a wonderful magical week, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.